Hello and welcome to our show today. We're so glad that you're here. Our Daily Reset for Success series is here to help us all reset our lives so we can live a happier, healthier, more creative, and prosperous life. Our co-hosts today are me, Marian LaSalle, creator of Spotlight Productions, and Lady Lou, the baby boomer babe, offering custom interviews. And who else do we have here with us today? Carolyn Gray. Hi, lady.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. It's been so long since I've seen you. Oh,
It
I'm
has
so
been.
tickled. Yeah. Moving away didn't help my friend relationships very much.
Yeah,
I
it's
left
been years since we've seen each other
years and years, and I hate that. But I'm in the country and loving every minute of it.
on the farmette.
Yeah, on my farmette. Well, we're so tickled to have you. We really, really are. And thank you, Marian. Marian does all of our technical work on our show, The Daily Reset for Success. And we're so tickled that you're here, our audience. Thank you for being here. Oh, excuse me.
I'm the man behind the curtain, as they say.
And you can leave comments. The audience can leave comments live in the chat or the comment area of Facebook and YouTube. So we'd love to have you come on and give permission to Facebook to allow you to come into StreamYard. There's a little link in the description. And we'll talk with you too. So we welcome everyone. So Carolyn, we have to ask you, the title of your show today, or this show, is OutSHINEize. Is that how you say it?
That's correct.
OutSHINEize the competition. I love that. Tell us how you came up with that.
Well, we all say, to outshine, but when you add the eyes to it, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So it is actually a made up word. I was working with a coach helping me to put together my package, my coaching package. And I said, I just kind of said, I'm going to OutSHINEize the competition. That's what I want my clients to do. And she said, oh, I like that. So that's how it came about. And I have been using it. And it really just means that you're just going to be the best that you can be and OutSHINEize everyone else. You're not going to just outshine, you're going to OutSHINEize. And that's kind of how and it's really a fun word. And it, and in networking, people kind of use it because it is a made up word, but it's a fun word. And that's what I use for my packages. So that's how it came about.
I love it. So what do you do exactly?
I am a personal development strategist and an accountability coach. And in my former life, I was an HR manager. And one of the discipline in HR that I absolutely love was helping employees be the best that they could be. So I took that part of what I did for years and years and years and started my coaching practice. I was actually coaching before I left my corporate job. So I'm here to help others to be the best that they can be, to bring that part of them out, because it's there. We just need a little help sometimes to get it out. So that's what I do. And then I hold you accountable. And seriously, no, seriously. And I tell people and clients who want to work with me, if you are not serious, if you're not wanting to do this, I'm probably not the person that you want to work with, because I really will hold you accountable. Seriously.
Well, I think that that's so important, because I know for myself, look, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's watching this, I've been on my own for 30 years trying to make it, okay? And I have always had to have somebody push me a little bit, get me accountable. Like Marla Reagan, who owns Organized Time.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have her come out to my house and help me set up my office so that I didn't get overwhelmed by piles. I'm a piler. And so she started, because of me, she started an accountability group. Now she no longer does that, so I'm missing that. We met every Monday, and she would go over what I said I was going to do for the week. And if I didn't do it, she'd want to know why, and could I now, get it done before the next time she asked me, did you get your stuff done? So I think it's important, even for people who think that they don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
If you had an accountability coach, you'd get so much more done. So thank you for offering that as a service, because we do need that.
And Marian, the thing is, we all need a little push and a nudge from time to time.
But I need a big push.
But kudos to you that you were aware of that and you realized that you needed to do something. And that's really what I see as the problem, that our challenge, as we like to say, is sometimes people just don't acknowledge and that they need help. And that's really what that catapults you to the next level. And it doesn't take long for you to start working in that mode. If you're, there's some things that Marla told you that she doesn't, you can hear her in your ear, whether she's there or not.
Yes, ma'am.
I know, Marla.
And here's another one. I'm telling on myself now. Okay. So if anybody knows Becky Earl, they know that, she is the brunt of anything I do wrong. So she actually went to Marla behind my back and said, I'm going to give you as a gift to her so she can get her office cleaned up. So I know, wasn't it? So they made a deal. I don't know what kind of deal they made. And so I got Marla here at my house helping me make sure that my office was manageable. It was awesome. So if you're thinking about what you could give somebody as a gift, I think Carolyn would be a good gift.
I would be a great gift.
Yeah. You could make up little certificates and say 2 hours of
I have those, baby Lou.
Oh,
good.
Got those.
That's perfect. So check out the description down below our videos here on Facebook and YouTube and even in our podcast, because all of Carolyn's contact information will be there. You're going to want to be the first to call her or email her so that she can get you set up.
Now, for those who are listening on our podcast, or if you're just listening to the video, I want you to know that Carolyn Gray spells her name just a little different on our website. So it's CarolynGray.com. Tell us about that, Carolyn.
Well, Carolyn Gray was taken.
I had a feeling about that.
Yeah. So Carolyn G. Gray, and G is my middle initial. And the reason I capitalize it is so often it gets left out or omitted. So I put it. Oh, did you? Yeah. So I put the Carolyn, I put the G in there, which is my middle initial, because the Carolyn Gray, and I check regularly to see if Carolyn Gray has actually given up Carolyn Gray so that I can have that domain name. But that's why I have it.
I love it.
And I had some suggestions, like some people said, well, why don't you be the Carolyn Gray or Carolyn Gray 1? And that really didn't resonate with me. So that's how I came up using my middle initial.
Oh boy, that works. See, you're thinking outside the box.
Well, it works. And for most people, and you missed it. I didn't realize you missed it. But when people say, I sent you an email, I sent it to CarolynGray.com. And I said, well, it's Carolyn G. Gray. And they said, you know what? It sure is. I'm looking at it now. It's Carolyn G. Gray.
You could say CarolynGray.com. And that's with a in the gray and an extra G.
You know what? Marian, I do say I'm an A grade. I do tell people that I'm an A grade because most people want to spell it with an E. Mm-hmm. But I'm an A grade. But I'll have to use that extra G.
It's funny because I have the same issue. Marian is Marian, and there are people who spell it with an ON. Originally, they said it was supposed to be O for male and A for female, but no one stuck to that, so it's all mixed up. Mm-hmm. So I also have that issue. What is the story behind GRAY versus GREY?
Well, you know what? I probably should know that since it's my name, it's not my birth name, it's my husband's name. And I've had it for a lot of years. But I've been told that, and you know what? I am going to look this up. Next time you ask me that, I'll have a real answer. But I guess in Europe, people use the E more than,
Heard that.
or have you heard that, Marian?
I have. I've heard
Yeah.
that.
You know,
So
also, doesn't it make sense that EY might be the color?
now when I use the color, I use E. But I've also seen it with an A.
Oh,
But I'm
so,
going to get a
right.
better answer. I'm going to get a better answer than what I just gave you.
All
I'm going to
right.
get a really good answer.
All right. Well, let's talk about our competition, shall we? I'll start off by telling you that early on, I hated competition. I didn't want it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want anybody using it. I wanted everybody to use me as the best web designer ever. And don't you tell me there's anybody else out there. I don't even want to know. But then I soon found out that, gee whiz, I could actually work with my competition as long as they were okay with it. We could work together, collaborate. And so the wall started breaking down. And so I felt better about the competition. So let's hear what you have to tell us about outshining the competition, because that makes me feel kind of, like, let's go.
Well, one of the things that I want to say, it is not about the hard skill, soft skill, hard skill. It's not about the actual what it is that you do. It's really about you. It's about you being the person that delivers to the competition. And it's generally, well, first of all, you have to have a mindset shift. You really do have to pivot and have a positive attitude. You cannot have a negative attitude or down in the mouth or always complaining. That's the very first thing. And that's what I tell people. That smile, you got to have that smile. Some people are grumpy and some people are not quite so positive, but you have to have that presentation, that first impression. We hear about first impression, and you can't fix that. First impressions are first impressions.
Forever.
So forever, really. I don't care how good you get afterwards. If your first impression is not positive, it's always in the back of that person's mind that says, oh, I remember when. So that's the very first thing that I when I'm working with my clients is we have to have that mindset shift, and we have to know that we are going to present ourselves positive. And it's a work in progress. So everybody's not already there. We're not born like that. We work into that. We make ourselves that way. And then we have to know ourselves. I know that I am an extrovert. And honestly, and I laugh a lot and tell people, I'm the textbook classic example of an extrovert. I don't meet strangers. And I have had to work on not over talking myself to make them feel look, to make so that I'm not making them feel like, wow. And I know that I don't always succeed. I'm not always successful. But the minute it hits me that I'm talking too much, I close my mouth. And you have to know that about yourself. You have to know that. I love sharing. I love being with people. I love laughing. Networking. So when I met Marian years ago, it was like, oh, I found my niche. I love this. It was just the place for me. And I enjoyed it. But the issue was I sort of kind of drifted from the group because I live up north and we were meeting down in the
South.
And we met early in the morning. So I thought I can find something up here that would, suit my needs. But you know what? I never lost contact with Marian. Never. I'm on her mailing list. She's never taken me off. I hear all about what she's doing. In fact, we've seen each other, Lady Lou, a lot recently, more recently than I've seen you, because she's invited me to some events and I've been able to attend. So I know that about myself, and I actually work on it. So this is not just me telling people what they need to do. And the other thing, and this is in almost any program you get in, you have to set goals. You have to set goals. And we're talking about goals that are attainable, not some I want to make $1 million next week. I'm not saying that's not possible, but we want to have some reasonable goals to achieve. The other thing that I teach my clients and I work with them as you have to be mindful and aware of business etiquette.
Oh.
And you think, well, these are little things that we should all know, but these are things that most people are not practicing or demonstrating. And these are the things that really help you to OutSHINEize others, where business etiquette, there really is such a thing as a business etiquette. I have a book that I've written. It's network etiquette, dazzle, don't frazzle. And you don't want to frazzle people by just dominating everything, taking over. And
Right.
I'm sure that, Marian, I'm sure that you in leading groups that, we call them house rules. Here are the house rules. But in your group, it ran very effectively. You didn't have people just kind of stepping all over each other, talking over each other. And that's one of the things. People notice that kind of stuff.
They do.
One of the things that I'm very aware of, Lady Lou and I have had this conversation many times. The people who are not afraid of the camera and can come on the show and, they always say yes, they're usually the speakers and the like you said, the people that are, that consider themselves, what did you call yourself? An extrovert, right?
Yes.
And so I realized that it's just in our nature to just like tell you everything we need to now tell. I have to tell you this. It's great. You're going to love this. And we're all excited and everything. So Lady Lou and I have had to come up with ways to interrupt without seeming like we're, like stopping them or, it's a fine line. Like you said, it's kind of etiquette. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't even realize you're doing it.
That's right. You're so right.
I know.
You're so in it.
Because you got to get it out. You just, we've got to tell.
I got to tell you, I got to share this.
I know. I have the same challenge, Carolyn, because I am I had my eyes read years ago with Ray Ed. It's a totally different thing from the other. I forgot what the name of it is, where they read your health in your eyes. This is the personality that shows up in the eyes. And I'm as outer directed as they come.
She's not shy.
Huh?
I'm not either.
You're not shy.
Well, I used to be years ago, and nobody believes me, but it was a self-esteem issue. That was it. I mean, I've always been a chatterbox and outer directed. But the thing I've always learned is that we have 2 ears and only one mouth. Use them in proportion.
Lady Lou, my great-grandmother used to say that it's a proven fact that we cannot talk and listen at the same time, and we should do more listening than talking. That's why we had 2 years. She used to say that, and I remember that from a little girl, because I'm like you. I've always been a chatterbox. I've always, and it was always something that I had to work at. I really have to work at listening, and by the nature of my professional career being in HR, I learned to listen, because one of the disciplines of HR and being in employee labor relations, where you're listening to cases, you're listening to some adversities that people are having. And sometimes people were losing their job and you didn't want to miss something. You wanted to hear what they had to say. It was like being in court. And if you didn't listen, you could miss something very important. And even at the stage where they were at the final stage of it, there were some issues that were brought up that, we didn't know that. So listening is extremely important. And one of the things I want to just say this about those of us who are outgoing, being in a room with 4 or 5 of us is so interesting.
When this is all over and we can get together, we should have a group getting, extroverts unite. Let's all have like a potluck, it would be the loudest, most exuberant place,
And everybody's talking. Somebody's on the other side of the room talking, and this one says, "Oh, I remember when so and so and so." We just all get in the conversations and keep going. Yeah. And that's a good trait for us when we're together. but it's not necessarily a good trait when you're trying to OutSHINEize the competition, because the very first thing someone will say is, she's driving me crazy. She's talking too much. Yes. Will she ever shut up? And so we have to have that balance. We really do. And you have to know where to cut it off. And sometimes we get to talking, for those of us who are chatterboxes. We really just want to we just want to say what we got to say. And it's not like we're trying to be, not share the conversation, but we want to just like, you got to hear this. You got to hear this.
I know something you don't.
Yes. And I want you to know, let me just tell you this about that. If you've done this, what about trying that? It's because we've done this and we know that it really will work.
I do know.
I have a couple of suggestions here about some of the things that we could talk about. And I want to hear from Lady Lou on this as well. How are you dealing with having to work from home or not seeing your clients face to face?
Well, you want Lady Lou first?
Sure. Lady Lou, tell us all about that. I know you have it down.
Yeah. I work from home. I have for the last 12 years since I moved to the farmette. I'm 50 miles north of Houston now. All my friends are in Houston. I've got a few new friends here in Conroe area, but mostly we talk on the phone. We talk on Zoom. We talk on other platforms. I don't see them as much as I used to. So I'm used to working out of my home. I'm up here by myself. My cat doesn't talk. And
yes, he does. I've heard him.
So it's normal. I have gotten used to being alone and being able to converse with whoever might show up out there on the driveway.
You mean like that cow that's sitting there next to you? Let's see that a little closer.
Oh, the cow, my girlfriend. You've heard the old story about the wearing a purple hat as we get
closer.
Older. Huh?
Bring it closer.
Oh, closer.
That is too cute. I see the hat.
She's wearing pearls.
I see it.
Down
a little bit. Down. Yes, I see it. That is too cute.
But that's some days I feel like her with my purple hat on, because the older I get, the more fun I'm having.
Oh, yes.
Being isolated out here is not a problem for me, even though I'm extroverted and want to talk all the time. I talk to my plants. I get my talking in, and we can do that. It's the inner-directed, the introverts that have the challenge. They are good listeners. And that's how, when I used to teach networking, I would tell them, ask questions of anybody you meet. Hi, my name is Louise. What's your name? Okay, she hears back. And what do you do? And that other woman or person she's talking to would just chatter.
Yeah.
And she can just sit there and listen, be in her element.
Mm-hmm.
So there's ways to give and take when you're inner directed, and ways to give and take when you're outer directed. And I love it that you're outer directed.
I'm outer directed
too. So
I think the thing, listening is so important, and for us, especially in business, we have to listen to find out what it is that our clients need and want. So let me quickly answer Marian's question about working from home. I have a home office, so as a coach, I have always worked from home. I have my office in my home, but I go out to be with people. But I coach over the phone, and I was actually using Zoom. I've been using Zoom for a number of years before it was really cool. Now everybody is using Zoom. That's how I've coached. I tried Skype, and I just had a few problems with
I'll be right
Skype.
back. Sorry.
I thought I had a few problems with Skype, so I stuck with Zoom. I like Zoom a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, I like Zoom a lot.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I'm not centered.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've used Zoom, used the phone, but I also network quite a bit. I am out and around. I have to be around people.
Me too.
Have to be around people.
Yeah.
So for me, it hasn't been as hard as it has been for some of my colleagues, because I work from home.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's been great. I've been able to do some things, get some things. I have shredded and cleaned out some old files, cleaned out closets. So I've been able to do a lot of things. And the other thing about working from home for me is I typically don't work on Mondays.
Oh.
I typically, now I have clients that say, well, Monday is the only day that I can meet. So I do accommodate those clients, but just as a general rule, Monday is my maintenance, what I call my maintenance day.
Perfect.
And that's, it has worked for me over these past 12 years that I can get things done. And if I need to see a client or talk to a client, it's not that I'm not available. I am available. I just don't routinely schedule things on Monday.
Well, that's so smart because we have to take care of us first.
Yes.
Then we can help our clients or whoever we're working with,
Yeah.
because they have no clue what we do in the background.
Exactly. And we have to put our own mask on first, Lady Lou. That's what I tell people. I know that's I got that from the airline, but if you think about it, and the reason they tell us that, we do have to put our own mask on first. And you cannot serve from an empty cup.
No.
I have to make sure and take care of myself so that I'm able to truly OutSHINEize, to give you something that you are looking for. But in meeting people, the OutSHINEize part of it is when you meet people, you want want them to see the best in you that they don't see in others.
Right.
Are you your character, your level of soft skills? You may be a good a web designer, but if you're not someone that I can talk to and interact with, then I'm likely not to use you. That's the OutSHINEize part of it. As Marian said earlier when she was talking about competition, there are a number of people who work with you, Marian, who could go and use someone else, but the part that they like about you, that you work with them and you interact with them, that's really what the OutSHINEize. What is it about you that is shining brighter than the other folks? Okay, so that's really kind of what that is about.
That's not mine, is it?
No. I muted her for a second until she figures that out.
That's okay.
I'm back.
You're back.
Well, I thought I was.
I muted her. So anyway, it's almost to the end here.
That's okay. At least it didn't knock her off.
No,
Are you back?
But I'm back. I'm
okay.
back.
Good. Sometimes those phone things happen.
Actually, that's the house phone that is not even usually in my office. It was in here. I don't know why, because I don't even use it. I don't use it. But I know we're almost at the end, but one of the things that I definitely want to mention, two things really, is time management. That's our sweet spot.
Yes.
We have to manage our time, and particularly when we're interacting with others. We want to be timely. We want to make sure that we're presenting what we say we're going to present when we're going to present it. And the other thing is gratitude. You have to be grateful for everything that we have. And I am big on gratitude. Yes, I'm big on, and here again, I have, one of the book that I wrote, 365 Days of Gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for, always. And that's one of the things that I teach my clients. And that shines through. You get to see that in others. And then the other one, of course, is invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself and make yourself better, then that shines through too. It's about building yourself from the inside out so that the part of you that's the best part, it's not, Marian, it's great that you can design, web design, but your character, your loving, compassionate, caring is really what others see, that I want to work with her. I like being around her. I love Lady Lou's personality. I love the farmette. The first time I heard her say that, I thought that is absolutely the cutest little phrase, the farmette. So those are things, and believe it or not, those are things that people just kind of connect to. Yeah.
Now, just so you know, and anybody watching this, I no longer build websites unless you're a friend or a referral from a client, a current client. I have moved on to some other really cool stuff. So,
like this.
Yeah, I'm now a producer of shows. How about that?
I love it.
But yeah, I really understand what you're saying, and I do have a sparkling personality sometimes.
Yeah.
We all do. We're three to draw to, like they in poker, they say
Yes.
a pair to draw to. Well, there's the
Yeah.
three of us to draw to, and we've
Draw
all
to.
got that outgoing, sparkly personality, and I love that. Wow. Well, Carolyn, this has just been so fun. I'm so glad to see you again.
Yes, it has. We had to catch up, Marian, when she said, I said, oh yeah, and I told her exactly where I met her. And it's been a long time.
Long
It
time.
has been.
Wow. Well, CarolynGray.com is how you can reach Carolyn, and go and read her website. It's a marvelous website, and connect with her if you need accountability, if you need coaching, and we all do. Let's face it.
I was thinking that we all need it.
We all do. So,
And I offer a complimentary session, Lady Lou. I do offer complimentary. They can go to my website and can complete the form and send it. And I do offer, and it's not one of those just fluff. Let me call and get your. It really is something that helps people. And I've gotten clients like that, or actually referred some of the folks who get a complimentary session with me. I have someone, a coach friend of mine, that I think, here's a person that I think you'd work better with, because
see there. It all comes back around.
Yeah.
When we give first, it comes back to us from somewhere,
does.
not necessarily the same place. So we thank you again, Carolyn, and thank you, Marian,
you.
for all your good works in the background. We love all that. And we thank you, our audience, because without you, we are just here. We want to talk to people. We're extroverts. We want you in the audience.
Bring it on.
We want your ears. We want your ears.
Amen. I love that part. Oh, good. Thank you, Carolyn. And
Thank you all.
you can find our shows under Natural Curiosity in Facebook, YouTube, and on your favorite podcast stations. And each one of them will have descriptions underneath with all Carolyn's contact information and anything else. And our website is naturalcuriosity.life. So come visit us. And if you want to be on our show, or if you've got an idea that we could do for a show, call us or connect with us somehow, and we'd be loving to do that. So thank you, world.
Thank you.
We love all the extroverts and the introverts of the world.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.